Hello and welcome to another episode of Female Voices, where we hold a space for stories, for resilience, transformation, and healing. Today's guest, I'm super excited for you to meet her. She's someone who truly embodies all that and more. So Flossie is a critical care nurse with over 30 years experience, a best-selling author, a wellness coach. She has NLP trainer and the founder of Flossie's Turmeric Tea. She was born in Kenya, and I'm not going to say a whole lot more about that. She has struggled with some autoimmune. She's been divorced. And I'm not going to say a whole lot about that. I'm going to let her share that. And I will say, so I want to say it here so I don't forget to talk about it, was part of the Miss Senior Missouri of 2025. So she is an inspiration to me, and I'm sure that she will be an inspiration to you as well. So welcome, Flossie, to Female Voices, Life and Loss.
Oh, thank you, Teresa. That's a mic
You're
drop.
welcome.
Thank you so much for the welcome.
Sure. I'm so glad that we have been able to schedule a time, because we've tried a couple times. Life keeps happening to us, and so that's okay. You know, life does happen to all of us. So I'm glad that you were able to join me today. And like with all of my guests, I would love for you to share a little bit about who is Flossie besides what I've kind of already shared.
Absolutely. So Flossie I call myself the village girl. I call myself the girl from the village. Same thing.
Okay.
Name I have for my book. I call myself the village girl that has gone through so much, just like everybody else, but everybody has a story. So born and raised in Kenya, the village, yes, it is a third world country. And having come into the United States more than 30 years ago, yes, I'm divorced with my one daughter. She's 36 years old. She's the love of my life. And the most part about me is I am one person that calls myself the unstoppable, because I believe with all the things and stuff that happens for us, there is so much that I have been able to go through and make a better person of myself. Yeah. So, as you said, I'm a critical care nurse over 30 years, which is my second career. I was initially a flight attendant back home in Kenya. And until when I relocated to United States, which I do say in my book, it gave me culture shock and food shock. Yes, hence my diagnosis, because there was so much to do and to try to be acclimated to. So now a critical care nurse. And the other thing I say about that is semi-retired. And I put the quotes because I was retired and I still did go back a year after just to work a little bit, one day here, one day there, because nursing, I look at it. Nursing is like being a mother. It never stops. It never ends. You use it anyway. So I did go back to work every so often to keep myself informed with what we call healthcare or sick care. That's myself. That's what I call it. So that I know what is going on in there. So also, I am a best-selling author of my book. It's called Village Vibes, and that's how I wrote how I was able to reverse my autoimmune disease naturally. And that autoimmune disease is sarcoidosis or sarcoid. And so many times I'll be trying to say that word, and I'll say, oh, God gave me a diagnosis that I have trouble pronouncing with my accent. Sarcoidosis. People eventually get it. And yes, and then I have my business, Simple Life, Healthy You Life, which stands for lifestyle, because I'm all things simple. I believe you can simplify so much about you, your mindset, what you do, the company around you, and you still get results. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. So that's my business that was inspired by the research that I did, the reversal of my disease, the remedies that I came up with that I put in me to make myself, I was my own guinea pig and reverse my disease. So I was inspired by that, and I figured I could bring this to the community. What I work around is usually 3 values, and my 3 values are usually health, all things, all day, every day, health, every day, because your health is everything before anything.
It's important.
Yes. Then I usually go, my other value that I walk around every single day, and that's why family, that in your backdrop inspired me. Oh, like that. Family is my other value. And then I also work around my other value that I treasure as well, community. So that's me in a nutshell. I call myself, I'm just feel every day I'm full of life. I want to bring what I got. I love life. I make it what it is. And even with the detours, I still make the best out of it because I'm still living. I got the health. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to dive into a few of those things. I love it. I love just your inspiration, your resilience, all of those things. So let's dive into that. Can you share what the transition really was like from going from Kenya, and you said a flight attendant, to coming to the U.S.? And where did that start with critical care nurse? Were you a nurse in Kenya, or was that an education that you got once you were in the U.S.? Curious about that.
Of course, I can share that. Not to nursing. That's something that I decided to take over once I got here. However, coming here when transitioning over here was a little bit difficult. That's the first chapter. That's the first chapter in my book that I wrote to describe a little bit about how it happened. Very difficult coming here financially. I worked for the flight for the Kenya Airways, and we got they cut back on just like what they did to TWA. What do they call it when they cut back on staff because its business is low? And I was among the 200, and after that happened, I worked on the different little things, and because that's all I knew then, different businesses that I could do locally, and I'll even do some flights because I was able to obtain 50% tickets, 80% in those tickets, and I fly out the country and I'll bring merchandise back in the day and I'll bring it back to Kenya and I'll sell it to the people. Little businesses here and there that didn't go really, really well. And this is when I decided I have connections in the United States. Let me go over there and I'll see what I can do to make a better tomorrow for my daughter. By then, my daughter was almost 3 years old.
Oh, wow.
And that's what I did. It was a very difficult start. So I started in New York, Queens, New York, where I knew somebody. I also put that in my book. A little bit settling in the beginning because I didn't have a place to stay. So it took some work. It took a lot of that culture shock I mentioned, that food shock, no finances because I only had less. I think I had like $200 then. I can't remember exactly, which was after selling a little bit of the property that I had. And I left my daughter and my ex-husband home behind at that time. So it was 6 months of a lot of struggle, which eventually I was able to relocate, move over to New Hampshire. Then I was able to go back and bring my family back, which ended up, it was great. Also a lot of struggle because now I have a family. I still don't have money. I still don't have a job. And I had a lot of stuff to put together. This is a whole family and we have to make things work. So through all that, connections, friends, people friends I was making from church and helping out, babysit and doing little odd jobs and cleaning. Oh, I'm very good at cleaning, by the way. And all those.
Okay, I'm going to remember that.
Yes, and that's how I started thinking about going to nursing school, as I was helping other people take care of their family in their homes and all those little, I didn't even know all I knew thought was nursing was just blood and needles and shots. I didn't know hardly nothing about that. I thought I thought nursing was not for me. I never thought it would be anything in career out of that. It's not how they say when you're in high school, what are you going to be when you grow up? We don't have that back in Kenya. And if we do, people will be like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a policeman. None of that. So, and that's how I transitioned. So I went to nursing school starting then because I also relocated to Boston after that. I was still finding the happy place where things it was nutty. It was rough. And then I joined nursing school as I was still a CNA. I became a CNA. So I started from the very bottom, then to an LPN in Massachusetts. And I was still cleaning bathrooms and toilets. And I did that even while I still graduated my LPN nursing degree until I relocated to Missouri. Then I went back for my nursing, we call it RN Bridge program.
Yeah.
So I had to do that, still working all the time. I used to sleep for maybe 4 or 5 years. I slept 3 to 4 hours a night.
Oh, wow.
Because that's between school and family. Then I went back again and I did my bachelor's while I was still working full time. So it was a transition. It took 10 years doing all this, working all this and working as a nurse, LPN, RN, where as I was doing all that, I was still working as a nurse. So it's when I got into my RN, I got my RN and then my BSN after that. Then I started now getting getting a specialty to learning critical care nursing, because now I knew what it is all about. And I really I tell people I became a nurse by default.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because all I wanted was to put food on the table. And I was following what people were telling me. And I write about Margie in my book, the lady that I met at this assisted living that said, Flossie, you're CNA, you can go back to nursing school and be an LPN. You're good at this. You can. And I will never forget how she brought me some books, a lot of them. She said, there you go. You need to go and register. And I'm like, what? Wow. So she started the journey. And here I am today.
Yeah, it's amazing what other people see in us many, many times before we see in ourselves. And so when you shared that, I thought, she saw something in you for sure before you even knew that it was there. So with all of that, I could guess on this, but when did you develop the autoimmune condition that you had, that you indicated that you kind of reversed that by yourself with a product that you have now or developed now? But when did that autoimmune condition start for you? When did that surface?
It surfaced before it was confirmed. I was going through a lot of stress. Like I mentioned, I would sleep 3, 4, 5 hours a night for years. I was always on the road. I'm working. I'm going to school now. I have a family because I went back and brought my family. There was so much with relocation and acclimation and everything else, trying to live what we call the American life. It was a whole transformation. It was really, really difficult. So with no rest, not eating right, just doing it all, I could feel, and I used to feel it. And then I didn't even mention, I also took another project at the same time back home in Kenya. Not to mention, I had a whole family, the whole village, because once you come into the diaspora, they look up at you. You know more, you have more money, so they say, so they think you can help us. So I'm feeding people back home. I'm sending money. I'm educating people. I'm answering questions. It was so much on my plate. And then I took up a project and I was building a 20 apartment building, because my goal right off when I started to see things are working for me now, I have to start creating and putting up a place I can relocate and retire, relocate back home and retire and bring my family, and where I can also help the community. I had all these ideas of that, and I'm building on that. And I was going to even do a mission trip and group. I had so much. I'm like, okay, this is a lot. So I was building stress in my bones and my body.
Yes.
Time.
Yes.
I didn't know, even as a nurse, that inflammation was the biggest thing that causes all that because of stress. Now I know, because understanding inflammation is actually my signature speech. Oh, yes. Okay. Once I got to that. So that inflammation through stress and all that and sleeping so little is what really did. What I didn't realize is I didn't know the symptom. I did ignore the symptoms, though, because I would feel something, and I would say to my ex-husband, then, I felt something here last night, because I work 12-hour shifts 6 nights a week. That's a lot. The couch was my friend. And I'll be like, oh, I'm good. And I'll text him and I'll be like, oh, I felt something there last night. And he'll be like, okay, you'll be fine. And I'll say, okay, one more day. Let me finish this. I got to send money to Kenya. I got to send this project. I got to do this. And I come lay on the couch for 5 hours. I go back to another shift. I had 2 jobs, and they were both critical hospitals. So it's when I started that. But 2015 is when I finally got the diagnosis. It took a lot of specialties, and tests and blood work, a lot of blood work. Because at the beginning they thought I had they thought I had lupus. And I was still pushing, and I was ignoring the lab work. I knew how to read. I'd be like, you know what, I'm going to make it better. I got to get this down. Those people at home, they don't know this, that I got to do this. And 2015 is when it really was like, okay, you got this.
Can't ignore it anymore, sounds like.
Can't ignore it anymore.
Yeah. So you've been given the diagnosis, and what did you start taking medication for it? Because I know that you developed your turmeric tea, which, I mentioned at the beginning. When did you go with more of a natural approach? Did you start with medicine and then go to the natural, or did you just automatically go to the natural remedy? And I say that because I think in other countries, they're more open to the natural remedies than we are in the U.S. Some of us are getting there, for sure. And so did you immediately go to the natural? Or tell us, how did that all transpire? You've been diagnosed, you're really hurting, you can't ignore it anymore. Where does it go from there?
I didn't go to the natural right away. I knew there was natural because my mom did it all the time. She'd salt water and you have a bellyache and you'll be fine. And we did this a lot. But right off the bat, when you get those news or that phone call, or you don't think you don't think like that. You don't. Your mind doesn't go there. So I didn't mention I was diagnosed after going to different specialties. I was diagnosed through a biopsy finally. A skin biopsy, because I started developing some scabs. So when I finally went to my 4th or 5th doctor, I think it was, and it was a dermatologist, and she decided, okay, we could see these scabs. I had noticed some scabs on top of everything else and all the other symptoms, and I didn't think there were anything until I started developing one by my left eye on the outside, right here. And I noticed that was getting bigger, and the other ones were still there, getting bigger and itchy, and I'd be like, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. But this particular one is when I needed to go to the dermatologist. My primary doctor said, let's go see if we can get that checked as well. And so she said, asked me if I had others, and I did say, and I showed them to her. And that's when she took a biopsy of one of them, one of my scabs that was on my belly, because she couldn't biopsy the one by the eye, obviously. I was starting to be very uncomfortable and painful, and it was getting bigger, and it affected even my eye. So she did that biopsy, and that's what brought the results. She sent it to Oshiwa, and that's what. So 2 weeks after that, when I got the phone call, and so when I went to her office, she had everything lined up like they do. I'm a nurse, I see it, and she's reading everything, and she's telling me this is the treatment regimen, and this and that, and you're not accompanied by anybody, so you're there listening by yourself. And the best part is I knew the wording. And the side effects, I knew some of them of the medication she mentioned. And all I did say, back to that, I mentioned, you asked me that question, is she had started giving me topical stuff, like little samples she had in the office And I would use them and they would work. And then she'd try some other different ones. We tried probably 3 or 4 different topical creams that she had as samples while in the meantime, and while we were also waiting for the results. And so when the results came back, she gave me the regimen, and I said, I'd request I go get myself a second opinion, and then I'll be back for the treatment. And I meant to get a second opinion, which I actually did. And I even got a third one. The third one was online. And in the process is when, and I'm researching the medications deeper than what I knew. And in the process is when I decided, I always tell people it's like an antenna went up, like boom. As I'm researching the diagnosis and the regimen and the medications, I got into some research that I can't describe how it got to that, because it started so little, and I researched more and more and more, and before I knew it, I'm like going crazy. Everything I find, I write or I record or I pull over if I'm driving, because 2025, it wasn't like now we have AI. You got to either record it or pull over and write it down, and that's what I did. And then after that is what I was like, I learned so much about medication, food, medication more than I knew. Food, GMO, pesticide. I'm like, now I see why my mother used to feed us out of the garden kale and collard greens every night. Now I see why she'd be like, just do the salt water because it works. Now I see why she boiled bones for bone broth and drink it even if it didn't have any flavor. Now I get it natural. And I said, okay, I'm going to go back to the village and start researching and concocting those little things that I can find. But I didn't have a village. All I knew was my little garden in the backyard, with my herbs and tomatoes and all. And I did find a village. That took some work, some more research. And that's how I ended up finding the Amish village and finding a family that took me in. And then I started to find what they had that reminded me of my mother, and I'll put them together and I'll juice and I'll not from the store, and I'll try them on myself. I actually made myself a guinea pig, and the tea, and I'll put all the spices like my mom used to do this. She'll put this. Okay, maybe I can try this. Maybe, and I became my own guinea pig, because here's what I believe. I decided autoimmune diseases don't have any cure, as they say.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say do, but I do. That can be reversed. I'm not saying anything against that to be politically correct. But what I knew is they said there's no cure. So either the disease is going to kill me or the remedies are going to kill me. Which way? So I don't lose. So I went 100%, 100% all the way with whatever remedies I had, among turmeric tea concoctions and other ones. I was trying so many of them. And I decided, and I started to notice a change, because in the beginning I was getting blood work done twice a week. And I could read my lab results. Then it would be once a week. Then every other week. So I'm like, okay, creatinine is coming down. Okay, this is coming. Something's right. I'm feeling a little better. In the meantime, I'm getting calls to go back to the doctor. And, are you coming? Are you coming to get your treatment? Your regimen. So that's how all those came about. And then I realized, okay, but in all that research, my mindset was also changing, because I'm researching not just food, and I'm researching mindset.
Yeah.
And I'm like, putting all this together, you can simplify it all together and make it natural and eat natural, change your mindset and how you look at it. And it's possible. So
our minds are
answer to that question. I figured I'd put it just together.
No, I love that. And mindset is so powerful. So you created some turmeric tea, and I know now you sell this turmeric tea. So how long did it take you from taking these remedies that you've created yourself, to now turning that into a business where you're now selling turmeric tea? And second part of that question, do you just sell it within the we're in both in St. Louis area right now. Is it just sold here, or do you ship that? Because I don't know. So,
okay. First of all, I was able to reverse my disease in 6 months.
Awesome.
Because
6 months.
The post biopsy was 6 months. Okay. I still had places and scabs they could, they do a biopsy. So that was great. That's when I knew I got it. As far as putting my tea, I didn't put my tea out there until about 2021.
Okay.
I wrote my book in 2020. In the meantime, I'm giving the tea to my friends, and they come to visit. It's a drink. They, like after dinner, what do you got? Water? I give them the tea, and that's how it started. You know how you give somebody a beverage when they come to your house.
Yeah.
Friends and before I know them like, that tea you gave me last night or yesterday, Flossie, I felt better. I slept better. I'm like, okay, I get it because it helped me. I never was promoting it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, until 2020 when I decided I met my coach and she said, Flossie, you could share a little bit you can share your story. And that's when I wrote my book. And in the process of writing my book, which was, that was rough. With English as a third language, no typing skills, with 3 feet, that was rough. So in the process of writing that book, which with her encouragement and support, it took 10 weeks. Even today, I have it on my whiteboard.
Nice.
In August, and I launched it in November 10, 2020.
That's
during the COVID, which the hospital was crazy too, because I was working then.
Yeah.
And then it's when I started to see that I think the response I got from the tea, when my friends and my family take it, and then the book, because my book went 8 out of 10 bestsellers so fast in the same day. I said, okay, maybe we could turn this to something else. But I didn't really do much after that. Until 2021, when COVID was just about halfway there, almost done, I started to hear people say, you know what? I want that tea, Flossie. And one of my girlfriends came over to my house, and she always would come with a container and say, okay, I'm putting some tea with me home. I say, you have extra. So I started to make a little extra. And we were drinking the tea as we were pouring it out of the mason jar. And I remember she's like, let's put this on Facebook. And I had just joined Facebook in 2020. And because I had refused to join Facebook before, because I was like, what is for? I'm the whole from the village. What do I need Facebook?
Yeah.
If I need to send pictures, I'll send them, text them pictures. And we poured that. As we're pouring it, she took a video. I remember my kitchen table, and all I said, try me. And so we put it on Facebook. And it started that way. After that, the texts, they were called DMs. I was learning what DMs were by that time.
Yeah.
I was so behind when it came to technology and to social media. Oh, yeah. And that's how I started getting messages and texts or DMs. Oh, where do we get this? How do we get it? So my OGs, I call them my original gangsters that started coming to get the tea. I said, come to my house. And they would come to my house, but I really didn't know where I was. They're like, how much is it? I don't know. I didn't know. So I'm asking my friend. I'm like, well, you came up with this idea. What am I supposed to do? How much am I going to sell? What? And so I'm going to Walmart and researching mason jars. How many cups are in a mason jar? And all that. I'm counting. And so I post on Facebook. Okay, $20, $25, $20 if you bring your mason jar back. So my first OGs that came, they came to my house for maybe the first 5, 6, 7 months. And then it was a Monday. I remember it was a Monday. And so then I did a post. I'm cooking my little kitchen. Yes. I don't even have an island. So I'm trying to shoot a video from the side. It was really, really, really weird. And I'm learning all this.
Sounds like it worked, though.
Until today. And so people want to know, when do we pick up, can we get some more tea? And I'm like, huh? What do you mean? So anyway, I said, okay, I looked up, I said, I did it last week, Monday. I said, how about you come next week, Monday? So the following week, I got some more mason jars. Some of the people that had picked up brought the mason jars back. And then it continued, and I would say next Monday. So, before I knew it, I call it Turmeric Tea Monday. TTM. Oh, okay. And so from that, to answer the question about shipping, is we got to where I started getting messages and texts and DMs. Oh, I'm here because I had worked the COVID crisis then in Texas and crisis in Illinois and different places. Mm-hmm. Yes, and I had met a lot of people. So I get texts and messages from them. We're here. How you going to ship it to us? How, And I was also cooking it over there when I was working with them, but we really never really marketed. I would be in a hotel room and I'm making turmeric tea and I'd be like, here it is. And I said, okay, I guess I gotta have to package this drink. So I started researching on packaging, bottling, FDA, trademark. I mean, I was ahead of things I don't know. I'm starting from here because I don't know. What is what, not, natural, facts, nutritional facts, nothing that I knew of. And that's how the packaging came about and the bottling. And yes, before I knew it, I'm like, you can't do this without a license. You got to get a health department license. You got to take some classes to get this license because you are cooking something and you can't do it at your home. You got to find a place that's licensed. So all that shebang, which was it was a lot. And the packaging came about and the bottling came about and the trademark took a while. I sent it out to my attorney. I didn't even know what trademark was. I just sent it to him but when I did, it was still in mason jars. I'm making my own little round labels. I'm learning how to do Avery. And I'm like, okay, so I'll do the stickies. And then came one flavor, then second flavor. And before I know it, I'm like, okay, I guess we can deliver. Once I got licensed and got the commercial kitchen. And so we deliver all over St. Louis every other Monday. We used to be every TTM, every Turmeric Tea Monday for a year and a half. Every Monday, consistently. That's my superpower. Consistently. Yes. Yeah. It was a holiday. If it fell on a Christmas day, that's the only time. Every Monday. People will be like, today is Martin Luther King Day. Today is Monday. Monday is this. Well, health doesn't take a break. We're still doing turmeric tea. Yeah. Now we ship as well. And so I had to learn all that, the insurance. And so now it is something dear to my heart because of all the testimonials that I get, all the ailments that is helping, the phone calls and the texts that I get. That, my knee feels better, my back feels better, my lab works are better, and that made my community and tribe even bigger. So it's the Turmeric Tea family. Wow, that is awesome. So do you ship all over the United States or all over the world? I am not there yet, but I am. Okay. Yet I am shipping all over the United States. Awesome. And the reason we keep it to that is because I don't add any additives, so I have no extended shelf life. Okay. So I want to make sure it gets to you in good time because you can have it out for 7 days or 8 days and it's still good because I don't have a perishable, but I haven't added any of that. So if I'm going to the world and whatever, that would take longer to get there. That's why I say, you want to keep it as natural as possible and give you all the nutrients just the way they come. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you've turned that into, is this correct, like a coaching business? Is it GPS to a healthier you? Is that kind of your coaching business along with the turmeric tea? Or share about that because I'm uncertain about all of that. Yes, I have. In December last year. Okay. I did this even before. I'll visit families, I'll visit friends, and I would tell them, share what I do, what I eat, how I go about it, how I simplified my mindset, my daily routines that I do every single time. I did say my superpower is consistency. Very difficult to do in the beginning. Yeah. However, It is doable. And then they would have different things going well with them. Their life will be better. If something not working well, it would get better. Their diseases would be better. Their symptoms would be better. I even worked with a lady who had cancer, and she said to her doctor, this is what I do. My friend has been helping with this and that, and I have changed the way I do things. I have gotten my different kind of friends. I mean, it was everything. Friendship, name it. So while I was doing that, just because it's what I love to do, I talked to my coach, and she was like, Flossie, these things that you do, you could just let people do it and make it into a program. I'm like, okay. So when I did NLP, I worked more on which is the neuro-linguistic programming that you know of. It worked more on my unconscious mind, and it broadened more of that. And I saw how much possibility that can be. Yeah. And so I combined that. And before even I did get my NLP trainer, I was in the middle of it. I was in class one day, and the lady from Maryland, was Rihanna. I don't remember her name. But anyway, she was talking about GPS to success is something that she does in her program. And she teaches about business. And I said, you know what? Can I borrow? And I know it's not hard. The acronym, the GPS is that we know what GPS is. I said, just because you're using that and it's not ours, may I borrow that GPS and use it in something I was talking to my coach about that I feel that it's going to really, really help people? She said, it's not mine. You can take it. I said, well, I know it's not, but anyway. So I said, I want to introduce people to a healthier lifestyle without teaching them, without coaching them, without showing them that I know more or that I am. So what I want to do is share my experience that I do every single day and support them and give them love. And what I want to create is a community of healthier, and I always stress healthier you, not health. Yes, that means a lot to me. So she said, yeah. So I said, I'll call it GPS to a healthier you, which is standing for healthy you lifestyle, which is introducing you or bringing you like GPS to the door, giving you the direction to a healthier you lifestyle. And I said, okay. So that's why it came about. And I said, when I started it, my first session in December, I said 2024, I said, it's not about nutrition, because I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not trying to take credentials that are not mine. It's not about diet. I'm not trying to make you healthy. You're already healthy to a certain capacity. I'm not your guru. What I am is your sister in prosperity, holding your hand, sharing what I do together, because I know it's going to work if we do the work and we stay consistent. I'm bringing your mindset. I'm bringing your daily routines, the whole shebang, the whole lifestyle, which is going to lead into eating healthier, not nutrition, eating healthier, which if we clean up the house, clean up the mind, like I say, you don't want to bring clean furniture into a dirty house. So let's clean that mind. And then we can bring the foods, the exercise, all the other stuff, because now you're ready to accept. You're ready to absorb. So I use the NLP part of it. And what I do also, and I created it that way. So when I introduce it, I say, I am sharing my experience of what works for me, simplifying your life, cleaning your mindset for a healthier you. And that's why I call it GPS. So that's what I do. We are now on session 4, which is graduating next Monday. It's a 6-week program, 1 hour a week of, I call it self-time, no self-care, self-time for you and yourself. Every Monday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we just have fun. It is not a dialogue. It is not a monologue, it's a dialogue, because we are doing little activities together. We are working on little things together. We are taking bite-sized actions and moves, and we are building on that, because we are talking about choices. And we use the 3 C's, which is a journal I have on Amazon. I call it the 3 C's: choice, commitment, and consistency, because they got to go together. So we work with that. That's the journal, which is their workbook. Because you make the choice and you don't get committed, what's the point? If you decide to get committed and don't stay consistent, what's the point? And in there, we add mindset. And then we have a graduation ceremony, by the way. It's coming next week.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much. You are such an inspiration with just that. And I know just recently, in 2025, you were part of the Miss Senior Missouri pageant. Where did that come from? I'm like, oh my gosh, when I started seeing that on Facebook, I'm like, what? I love this. So where did that come from? Is that come from all the health stuff, or you just decided to step way outside the box? Is that something you dreamed of as a little child? Like, where did that all come from?
Well, first of all, you say box. I don't believe in anything staying outside the box. I believe you build your box if you want to build your box. I don't believe in a box. I'm just there.
Good.
That's just how I do it, because I believe everybody has their own uniqueness and identity. And I am Flossie, and my identity, my uniqueness is me. And all along, I took care. I remember, this is funny. I'm going to throw this right in. One time, maybe more than one time, at the hospital, you get a patient, usually an older lady, they'll ask you, hey, Flossie, where you from? And I tell them, you have a family? Yes. How many kids you got? 3. Really? What are they? How old are they? You get it, right? And I always used to say, I got 3, yes. And they'll ask me, I say, my husband. I'm like, what? My daughter. And be like, huh? And my dog. They're like, what? Because that's all I did. Take care of my clan, my village back home. I told you about that. Oh, yes. Everything I did. To the point my daughter be like, Mom, you need to buy yourself something. You buy yourself something new. Then take care of them over here, including the dog who I cooked for. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He knew when I was cooking the bone broth is for him. Oh, yeah. That's it. My ex-husband, I took care of them and took care of my patients and the people in Kenya, and never took care of me. So bringing you back to the question is, when I got divorced, I don't say I got divorced. I just decided this wasn't for me after 29 years.
Wow.
You're taking my energy. I need my energy back, which, by the way, was the best thing I've ever did, among others. Okay, because now my energy is, I can't even tell you.
Hi.
Oh, my God. 6 months later. It didn't get there right away because it took myself to 6 months and 7 months or so to figure out my status, my identity. Where am I now? I might lose my identity. Where am I? I can't go out. Who's my +1? That's a whole other program.
Yeah.
So that, and okay, now I got my energy back. Then we lost the dog after 17 and a half years. His name was Chipper. Yes. We still have him here around us. So, okay, then my daughter moved out. She had just moved out, which is still very close. I'm like, whoa, it's me and myself and I. So when you ask me, who are you? I'm doing everything for me, myself, and I. Flossie. I put myself in the front burner instead of the back. I decided I'm just going to do everything that serves me. Keep the people that serve me. He never did serve me. He wasn't abusive, but he didn't serve me. But it took 29 years to realize that. And that's what I do. So, the class, the GPS, serves me. Doing my challenges like I did today and every day, working out, serves me. The Miss Senior Missouri, I realized, okay, I love to do things that gets me to the next level. To challenge myself in so many ways. Because I always tell myself, I'm unstoppable because nothing is impossible. It looks impossible until it's done. That's Nelson Mandela. That's my best quote. I have it everywhere. I have it on my phone.
I love it.
And I said, okay, so I'm going to do something else that's a challenge for me. No desire to be a pageant queen. No desire for anything. Nobody to notice. Just for me, among many other things that I've done. And I said, I'll do this. So I did. And there I was. And another best thing, among many that I did for me that I am so glad I did. I got to wear a gown for the very first time. Yes, I'm 63 years old, never wore a gown because I never did a wedding. Yes, I was married, but I was married the traditional way. I never did a wedding. I told the interviewers, I never wore fake eyelashes in my life. I'm from the village. That was something different. They were like, what? And I said, well, I'm considering myself a winner because that's not what I need. I don't need no crown. This is what I want. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I had a ball. I don't want the pressure of wanting to win or wanting to witness. I mean, people just witness that. And so I did it. And when it was complete, I was in cloud 9. So that's how it came about. And it was more of something different for me.
For you.
Pushing that little envelope, not the box, but pushing that envelope.
For you. I love that. You are so, you inspire me. You're inspiring me by hearing all of these things. And we see each other periodically, out in within the city and networking and all of that. And now I have this whole new outlook because I didn't know all this. And so I'm super inspired by all that you do. So we could probably talk for hours because there's several things that we didn't really touch on. You did a little bit about your divorce and talked about that. But maybe another time we can talk about all those losses. You had a lot of losses, all of that at the same time there. That you kind of talked about that. That was probably a very difficult time. But before we close, I want you to share, if someone is listening and they want to have some of Flossie's turmeric tea, how do they connect with you?
I'm easy to get. Just put Flossie's turmeric tea. You don't even need my website. Okay. Flossie's turmeric tea even on Google, it will pop up.
Something will pop up. Okay.
As long as you got my name spelled correctly, Flossie, Flossie.
Okay.
Turmeric tea, or you can put Flossie's turmeric tea kitchen, and you see all the videos where I have had my friend Teresa come to the kitchen and cook with me from Park School and been there, and so many other things. It will all pop up, and then it will bring you to my website from there, and then you can see all those other things and the turmeric tea family and all those other extra stuff that I just enjoy doing. To me, communities a lot of goodness.
Yeah. I love that.
It's a village.
It is a village. Community, consistency, all of those things, good mindset. I love all of those values and things that you talked about. I think you talked about health, family, and community. I love that. Such an inspiration. So thank you. Flossie's story is a beautiful reminder that healing doesn't happen all at once, but in layers and choices, and encouraged to keep showing up for yourself and doing things way outside, what I say, outside the box, different ideas, just new things that come to mind, doing those. So whether you're grieving, recovering from loss, seeking to rebuild your life, like Flossie has done, with deeper purpose, Flossie's journey really shows us that it's never too late to begin again. At 63 years old, doing a pageant. So with faith, wellness, and compassion, and your compass, just reach out and do something different in your life as Flossie has done. So today's episode, I'm sure it moved you like it did me, but be sure to share it if it did. And so remember, you're not alone in your healing. We're here to support you. So until next time, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.